And families, I don't know about you, but we've had to spend a lot of time indoors lately, and that's making us a little stir crazy. So whenever I'm feeling icky inside, sometimes I just have to go outside and I start to feel a lot better. And I'm hoping it's the same way with you. So something I thought that would be fun for us to do is for us to go on a scavenger hunt together. I made a list that's below, and you can print it off and you can look for these things at home. So let's get started. On the list to look for are things that are starting to grow in your garden. And sometimes they've just been hiding underneath the snow and you just need to look for plants that have sort of been there, but they've just been covered up. And then other times there's things that are just starting to pop out of the ground. This is one that I'm super excited about. Last fall, I planted 700 bulbs and they're starting to come out of the ground. Let me show you. So if you look right here, you can see that the bulb is starting to pop out of the ground. Now, it doesn't look like much right now, but I can't wait for spring to come and for things to start to bloom and look really beautiful. So maybe I'll have to give you an update when that happens. Sometimes when we're looking for things that are growing, we look down, but sometimes we forget to look up too. So check out these trees. These lilacs are just starting to bud open, and I can't wait to see what they look like when they open. When I'm in the garden, I like to think about how we can engage our senses. We have 5 senses: our sense of smell, taste, hearing, sight, and touch. Now, lots of times we don't think about how plants can make music, but when I was out in the garden last week, I was cutting some things down and I found a musical instrument. Listen to this. The other neat thing is that you can find different kinds of flowers that have dried. Here's one here, or sometimes you get really big blooms like this. So it's fun to look for flowers that have dried on the plants. Come on over, we're going to look for something that feels good too. To look for in your garden are plants that are soft, and this is one of my favorite ones. It's called lamb's ear, and it is so soft. People even sometimes call it camper's toilet paper. So if you're in a real pinch and you don't have some toilet paper, you can always head out in the garden, I guess. Speaking of things you find in the garden, I want you to look for things that are signs that animals have been nearby. Like, look at this. I wonder who did that. There's going to be things in your garden that we don't have in our garden, and there's things that we have in our garden that aren't in yours. For instance, look at this. We have trees that are covered up. It's sort of like they have a blanket over them, and that's exactly what it is. During the winter, we cover them in blankets to protect them from the cold. Isn't that so funny? Before I did a lot of gardening, I used to think about leaves just being green, but then I started to do a lot of work out in the garden and I realized that leaves can be all sorts of different colors. So that's one thing I want you to find on your list, are leaves that are in your garden that are other colors other than green. Look at this one here. This one has some purples. It does have some greens, but even has like grayish leaves. And if we look over here, here's another plant that has some really vibrant purple leaves underneath. Well, I hope you have fun doing the scavenger hunt in your yard and that you get outside and enjoy some fresh air. Have a good one.